the quiet village of Amadeka, where whispers traveled faster than the wind and secrets rarely stayed buried, there lived a woman everyone called Maserwa the Righteous.
She did not give herself that name. The people did. At first, it started small. A prayer here, a soft no warning there.
She had a way of looking at people like she could see through their skin, past their words, into the things they hid even from themselves. And slowly, people began to believe she was chosen. Every morning before sunrise, Maserwa would be seen sweeping the front of her large compound, her white cloth always spotless, her head neatly wrapped.
By the time the sun rose, women would already be seated outside her gate, waiting. Men too, though they came pretending was for guidance or wisdom. She always kept them waiting.
Control, Maserwa believed, was not something you grabbed. It was something you fed slowly. Let them need you. Then they will never question you.
Her house stood apart from the others, bigger, quieter, richer. No one could quite explain how she had come into such wealth, but if anyone dared to ask, there was always an answer ready.
God has been kind to me, she would say, her voice calm and gentle. And people nodded, because no one wanted to be the one to question God's kindness. But the truth was darker than anyone imagined.
Before she became Maserwa the Righteous, she had been simply Serwa, a woman with sharp eyes and sharper instincts. A woman who married not once, not twice, but 7 times.
Each husband had been wealthier than the last. Each husband had died. Strangely, conveniently. The first one, they said, fell ill after a feast. The second slipped and hit his head. The third never woke from his sleep. By the fourth, whispers had started, but whispers in Amadeka had a way of dying when they reached the wrong ears. By the 7th husband, no one whispered anymore. They simply accepted.
After all, Maserwa was now a woman of prayer, a woman who spoke of purity. She would warn, express the sins of the flesh to make the young women lower their eyes.
The irony was almost cruel, because while she preached restraint, Maserwa had her own private routines. At night, when the village slept and the crickets sang, shadows would slip quietly into her compound.
Young men, strong, restless, and foolish. She chose them carefully. She chose them carefully. Never the ones who talked too much.
Only the ones she could control. To them, she was not Maserwa the Righteous. She was something else entirely. And when morning came, they left
But secrets have a way of leaking. And in Amadeka, not everyone was blind. And the few who began to see her for what she truly was, she controlled silence too. Because in her world, truth was dangerous. And those who tried to speak it rarely lasted long.
In Amadeka, fear did not come loudly. It came quietly, like a shadow stretching at sunset, slow and unnoticed until it covered everything. The first person truly saw Maserwa was not a stranger. It was Ajo, had grown up in the village. She was not loud, not troublesome, but she had one dangerous habit. She paid attention. While others bowed their heads and accepted what they were told, Ajua watched. She noticed patterns, and Maserwa was full of them. It started the night Ajua went to fetch water later than usual. The moon was high, and the village was mostly asleep. As she passed by Maserwa's compound, she heard something strange. A man's voice, soft, laughing. Ajua froze. No man was ever seen entering that house at night. It simply wasn't possible. Maserwa had built her reputation too carefully for that. Yet, there it was again. A whisper.
Through a small gap in the fence, she saw them. Maserwa and Kojo. Kojo, who only that morning had been sitting at her feet, nodding as she spoke about righteousness.
Kojo, who everyone believed was seeking spiritual guidance. Now he stood close to her, too close. And Maserwa was not the woman from the morning. Her voice had changed, softer but sharper underneath. Her eyes, usually calm and distant, now held something alive, something dangerous.
You must be careful. You don't want people talking.
No one will know, Ma.
Good, because those who make noise don't last long here. Aju's breath caught. Something in the way she said it, it wasn't a warning. It was a promise.
Ajua ran home that night, her mind racing. She tried to convince herself she had misunderstood, that there was some explanation, something innocent. But deep down, she knew the truth. And once you knew something like that, you couldn't unknow it. The next day, Ajua watched more closely. She noticed the way certain young men avoided eye contact with Maserwa in public, but always seemed to pass by her compound at odd hours. She noticed how they changed afterward. Quieter, nervous, owned. And then there was Kwaku.
Kwaku had been one of the few who spoke openly in the village. A man who had taken an Osir much, and finally told him what she had seen, he did not dismiss her. I have heard things that didn't make sense before.
So you believe me?
I do. Because Kwaku was not like the others. He did not know how to stay silent. 2 days later, but in the open, in front of a compound where women had gathered for advice. You speak of purity, but what do you do in dark, Maserwa? The air changed instantly.
The women gasped.
Some stood up, already backing away as if trouble had arrived. Maserwa did not react immediately. She simply looked at him, carefully.
Kwaku, you are troubled.
I am not troubled. I know what you are doing.
Enough.
Her voice wasn't loud, but it carried weight. The kind of weight that made people uneasy without knowing why.
You should pray before your mind leads you somewhere you cannot return from.
And in that moment, Maserwa knew she had won.
Kwaku left, angry but not defeated. People will see the truth.
Ajoa felt a chill run through her.
Because something in Maserwa's eyes that day had unsettled her deeply. It was not anger, not fear, but something far worse. Certainty.
3 nights later, Kwaku was found dead. They said he had fallen into the river, that he must have slipped in the dark. It was a clean story, simple, easy to accept, too easy.
May God forgive his troubled heart.
Because now she understood something no one else dared to admit. This Seah was not just standing, she was protecting them. And anyone who came too close.
Because now, it wasn't just about what she had seen. It was about what Maserwa might do if she realized Ajoa had seen it too. Because now she understood something no one else dared to admit. This was not coincidence. This was not misunderstanding. Maserwa was not just hiding secrets, she was protecting them. And anyone who came too close did not live long enough to speak twice. Ajoa swallowed hard, her eyes fixed on the woman everyone still called righteous. For the first time, fear truly settled in her chest. Because now, it wasn't just about what she had seen. It was about what Maserwa might do if she realized Ajoa had seen it too. After Kwaku's death, Amadeka changed. Not openly, not in ways anyone could point to, but something shifted beneath the surface. People spoke softer, laughed less, and when Maserwa passed, heads bowed a little quicker, eyes dropped a little faster. No one wanted to be noticed too much anymore, especially not Ajoa. She had stopped going out at night, stopped talking freely. Even when people praised Maserwa in her presence, she simply nodded, her face blank, her thoughts carefully hidden. Now he was gone, and Maserwa was still standing, stronger than ever. More respected than ever. It was as if his death had only fed her power. That was when Ajoa realized something terrifying. She used their silence, people.
Every death, every whisper that faded away, it all built her image higher, cleaner, untouchable, and the village helped her do it. Because it was easier to believe in a holy woman than to accept the truth about a dangerous one. One evening, as the sun dipped low her null aura, her body stiffened instantly.
No one visited anymore. Not like this. Not unannounced. She hesitated before opening it, and Maserwa,
Standing calmly, her white cloth glowing softly in the fading light, her face arranged in that familiar, gentle expression. But her eyes. Ajoa, won't you invite me in? Of course, Ma.
The moment Maserwa stepped inside, the room felt smaller, heavier, like the air itself had changed.
You've been quiet. I've just been busy.
Busy or careful?
For a moment, neither did Maserwa. Then she leaned forward slightly.
I know what you saw.
Ajoa's heart dropped. There it was, no denial.
No pretending, just truth spoken like it didn't matter anymore. No need to lie. You're not as good at it as you think.
Silence.
Thick.
Uncomfortable.
You remind me of myself long ago. I used to think truth mattered, that exposing darkness would change things. Power changes things. You killed them. Such a heavy word. People die every day, Ajoa.
That's not an answer.
No, it's not. Then she leaned forward again, her voice dropping lower. But here's the answer you actually need. I do what is necessary. You're afraid of me. That's good. Fear keeps people alive. Then why are you here?
Maserwa smiled, because that was the question she had been waiting for.
I came to give you a choice. The word landed heavily.
A choice?
Yes, you can keep what you know to yourself. Live your life. Stay safe. Or you can follow Kwaku's path and end up like him.
She didn't need to. The silence said everything.
People deserve to know the truth.
Maserwa watched her for a long moment. Then, slowly, she laughed. Not loudly, but enough to send a cold shiver down Ajoa's spine.
People? Which people? The same people who watched Kwaku speak and said nothing? The same people who will bury you tomorrow and call it God's will?
Ajoa said nothing.
Because she had no answer. Maserwa stepped closer, her voice now soft, almost gentle again. This village does not want true Ajoa. She leaned in slightly. And I give it to them. So, what will it be?
Ajoa's mind raced. Fight?
Truth or silence?
Her lips parted slowly.
I understand. Measuring. Then, finally, she smiled. Good girl. She turned and walked toward the door, stopping just before stepping out. Oh, one more thing.
Ajoa's heart pounded.
Kojo won't be visiting me anymore.
A pause.
He talked too much.
The door opened. And just like that, she was gone. Because now she had the foot wasn't hiding anymore. She didn't have to. Ajoa's mind raced. Fight or survive?
Truth or silence?
Her lips parted slowly.
I understand.
Ajoa sank slowly to the floor, her chest tight, her mind heavy with the choice she had just made. Outside, the village carried on as usual, unbothered, unaware.
Or perhaps unwilling to know. And somewhere in the distance, my soft voice rose again, guiding, advising, comforting, or maybe not.